Hello and welcome to DVB Box Pop, a podcast featuring voices from Generation Z.
We are your hosts, Nyingsu
and Tuya.
Tune in every week to hear young people share their personal stories
and how they hope to achieve a future democratic Myanmar,
free from military dictatorship. To listen, follow DVB English in your podcast app.
DVB Box Pop is available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, it's Nyingsu. Welcome back to DVB Vox Pop. Today I'm with a women rights activist and a Burmese restaurant owner for today's episode. Phoebe, welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. Nice to see you.
Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for having me as well.
Phoebe, you have done a lot of works for women rights in Myanmar, and I've seen your activities, fundraising events, and how you dedicate to Myanmar women community. It's not an easy journey for you being a woman activist in male-dominated country. So what makes you become a woman activist? Can you tell me more about your journey briefly?
I became an activist out of curiosity, I have to say, because when I was young, we didn't learn about gender equality, or we didn't learn about feminism at school. But I became curious as I grew older, and in my school years, when I was in 6th grade, I was very curious and asked my classroom teacher, why there is no women heroes in our textbook. And then she replied me that she said, because war is not a woman thing, because you have to become a hero, you have to fight at the war. And then I asked her why women cannot fight at the war, and then she told me she has no answer. So that was the first time I was curious, no? And then as I became adolescent and I have my menstrual, and then because we are living under in the patriarchy society, there are more restrictions coming on to me, by my parents, by my relatives. Now everyone is looking at me and they want me to become very perfect. I don't know what are these restrictions. I was starting to question myself, why can I do this? Why can't I do that? And then and then I used to perform as the female president at my high school years, but I noticed that the teachers never picked me to become the president of the whole student council. And then we never get a chance to give a speech, and our role is to decorate flowers for events, and then brushings and cleaning things after the events. So I also again complain to my teachers, why is my role here? Because I have been the president of the classroom, for 2 years already, and then why don't we have a chance to get onto the stage? Why we were not in the meeting for decision making? So she said, because male are more male are more supportive. They can go anywhere. We can let them do everything. These are the reasons that they gave me. So starting from then on, I used to realize something is very unfair, something is wrong. Something is totally wrong. I don't know why. So I'm very curious, and I started reading books. I started learning, and then after my high school, I got scholarships from Lancaster University. So I went to study for 4 years now, and I graduated with communication. And then when I went abroad to study, it opened my eyes that the girls in other countries are not like us. they are the president of the student council. They can do whatever they want. I met with amazing women and girls, that leading in their own community, at the same age as mine. So I was so enlightened. And then I started thinking that there might be something totally wrong with the people, the society in our country. So I read more, I learn and study more. And then when I came back to my country, I started volunteering for the community projects and also other women rights organizations. I started as a volunteer, and then I think in 2017 I started working at a women rights organization, a big one, and a pioneer one in Myanmar. Yes.
Yeah. So you being a woman rights activist, from that, what's your family reaction on your decision? Yeah.
Because I came from a very religious family. My dad is a pastor, a very Christian family, and at first they saw me as a black sheep, and they don't really restrict me from doing anything, but I think I have to be thankful about it. But there are things that we cannot be agree on, so it's became more, how to say, different. I feel like there's a distance from my family, from my own society, and then I became sometimes alone.
Yeah. Yeah, Myanmar society, we can't blame them. I mean, it's been over generations to generations. So is there like any good or bad memory during your journey? Would you share with us?
There are both bad and good memories, but there are a lot of bad memories. But because being a woman activist, sometimes I feel guilty about myself, because I have this privilege to learn about feminism, gender equality, but these other women who do not have the same opportunity as me. So sometimes I feel like, oh my God, this is not fair, but we should do this, we should do that, we should voice out. But the survivors or the women in the community themselves, they do not know they are being violated. So it's really hard, it's really challenging for me. And sometimes being a woman rights activist, you have to listen to the people's stories. Since before the coups, we have to listen their rape stories, their sexual violence stories. They came to the office with wounds, so we are like secondary victims, So it's also a challenging thing. But the good thing is that the more I dig deeper, the more problems I found, and then it keep me motivated to keep doing what I'm doing right now, and then to keep fighting for what I believe.
Yeah. So you work a lot in the sexual harassment and also managing stress and everything. Very, very admirable. When I read about you and when I saw about your works. Yeah. So let's just go to the Myanmar coup. So in 2021, the Myanmar military seized power and the coup happened. So how do you feel about that?
It's a nightmare, It's very drastic and traumatic events, Since 2021 we have been, but at the same time, I celebrate my resilience, because we have come until this far, not to going back, but to go forward to achieve justice and freedom.
Yeah. So when do you flee to Thailand? Why do you decide not to stay in Myanmar, like after the coup happened?
Before the coup, I used to work with Myanmar women parliamentarians because for their campaigns and for their technical, we provide technical support for them and also financial support for their, for their election campaigns, no. So it's very dangerous for me to keep staying there. And also after the coup, I also think about my roles. Which roles do I have to play? What I am good at, and will I be useful on the ground, or will I be useful in some other ways? So I decided to leave the country for the best of everything.
Yeah. So and I know that you were a research fellow student in Chiang Mai University. So can you tell me what about your research? How do you approach the research?
My research is about the structural gender barriers women face in the revolution, because being a protester and citizens involving in the anti-junta movement myself, I found out there's also, even though there are women frontliners and they are talking about the roles of women in the revolution, I myself have experienced the inequality on the ground during the protests and during the movement. So I think there are a lot of research and media publications about how the military violated women, but the deeper barriers and challenges that is not forbidden in the ground, which is also done by the same group of people, which is pro-democratic people. So I really want to tackle it out as an issue.
Yeah. So is there any website that our listener can see your research?
I think it will be published very soon by the Chiang Mai University, but it's not coming out yet, so I don't know. But after it has published, it will also be available to public. Yes.
Cool. I be forward to look the research. So now that you finish your research and you open a Burmese restaurant, which is like the Burmese community-based restaurant in Chiang Mai. So how do you get the idea to start not the normal Burmese restaurant, but the more like a community-based restaurant? What's your thoughts about it?
When I first came here, I feel there are not a lot of Burmese people, and there's no a big community here. So I feel very lonely. And also, when I want to read Burmese books and talk Burmese, I don't know where to go. So, and that's the first thing. And also, the second thing is that I noticed I met with other activists from Thailand, and also people who are doing community works. And then I was inspired by them, that they told me one important thing, which is we cannot continue our movements and activism without financial support. But for now, the financial support that we are getting are from donors and funders. We cannot be sustainable in that way, because if we are depending on someone else for financial support, this movement will be co-opted, like cooperated, or this movement, this kind of activism will be hijacked by capitalism. So that's the idea. So they said we have to establish our own business, and also we have to establish our own entity, so we can earn money and financial support on our own, so that we can continue our movement and activism without the support of an outsider. So that's the meaning. Then I just realized I should do something, because this revolution will be going on for a while, for longer than we think, something like this.
So and also your partner is also very good at cooking, and I was really enjoy his foods. So tell me more about what kind of food do you get in your restaurant?
For now, we offer a variety of Burmese food. Like, we pick the very best selections of Burmese famous dishes in our menu, including mohinga, tea, Burmese tea, lapato, nanjito, no, a little things. Sorry, a few things from each category. So it's the menu that we have invented.
Yeah. So, and also I was wondering, in your restaurant, which kind of activities are you hosting?
We every weekends we host poetry reading. It's done routinely. So poetry reading. Sometimes we do collective drawing. Sometimes we do reading, just reading, not poetry, no, but reading a book. And also sometimes we do jamming, singing Burmese songs with guitars and other instruments. People bring their own instruments and we sing together, because I want this place to become a home of creativity, a home for Burmese people, where they can come and do what they have passion for, together with the people, like-minded people, and people in our own community.
Yeah, now that I remember, you also sing, and yeah, it's really good. And you also sing in your restaurant also?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So and now that in Chiang Mai there are a lot of Burmese restaurants, so as you being a young restaurant owner, what kind of challenges do you have it, or any difficulties to make it unique space?
Yes. Because we are still like middle-aged people, youth, no, we can say we are youth, so we don't have the strong financial support, and then until now we are not depending on any donors or vendors. This is our own business, no, we start from scratches. So that's financial support is one big challenge. And also another thing is the stereotypes that Burmese community have, because usually when they think about food and cooking, they think if an old lady or an old guy cook it will be more delicious. They have this kind of stereotypes that, so if young people cook, they don't really trust until they taste it. No, so there are like layers of challenges to come up, no, over the surface.
Yeah, it's right. That's right. Yeah. So what's more to come to your Burmese restaurant? What's your future plan for it?
Actually, I don't have a future plan but I want this place to be a home for Burmese people, and also a source of incomes and also contribute back to our own community. Even if I'm not doing this business anymore, I want some youths, some young people to take over the business and then continue contributing back to the country. So that's my future plan.
Yeah, that's a really nice idea. So now that in Myanmar there are a lot of atrocities and a lot happening, so what's your opinion on that? What do you see, and also what do you see of Myanmar's future?
I think it's very complicated to say, but I believe we will win one day. It can take longer, it can take whatever it takes, but I do believe, that with our passion, with our strong will and hard work, we will win for definitely, for sure one day. But the thing is, I always think about whether it will become a society that is equal and justice even after we win the revolution, even after there's no military regime. So there's a lot more to think before we win and beyond we win. So but the society, the country that I want to see is where every citizen has equal rights and treated with respect, and we have our justice and freedom. Thank you.
Yeah. And also, I'm curious that do you have anything you want to? Do you have anyone you want to speak out?
Anyone?
Speak out for them, like in prison or like anyone you want to speak out for them.
I think I want to speak out for everyone because we are in the same ship, we are in the same journey, we are on the same journey, and I really want to speak on behalf of those who are inside the country, who are in prison, in the interrogation centers, and who are in the jungles as well. There are a lot of criticism about our people leading people defense revolution, no? But I do believe that unless we are pushed until the edge, you don't understand, you won't understand, you won't know what we feel like, what we experience. You will never, because if you have never put into our shoes, you will never feel what we feel. So I have to say is we have been pushed to the edge. We do this not because we want to, but because we have to. So I really want international community to understand this. Yes.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to the listeners?
Thank you for listening. If you listen to this podcast and if you feel touched, please do something about it.
Yeah, that's really good. And thank you for sharing your story. And I hope the listeners get inspired by your story. Yeah.
Thank you.